You're
Anyway,
at $8,000. You took that in consideration. You went in there, you painted, you got new flooring. You might have put a kiss on the kitchen. You know, you might have got a new furnace, a hot water tank if it's getting ready to go or didn't look good. Whatever you had to do, inside and out. We just gave you $8,000 to play with, but your cap is still 18.4. You're not going to get there. I challenge anybody to go on Google and tell me if a CD, a Roth IRA, a mutual fund is going to give you that type of return.
Yeah, it's definitely not. And I think, and this is why when you look at the wealthy, most of them have so much real estate in their portfolio, because even when you compare it up against the stock market, it's a whole lot more stable, right? Because even when we have pullbacks and corrections, real estate still is just the strongest asset class out of all the asset classes. So again, you got to think about this. If you're getting 20% a year, you're not working for it. This is passive income. And this is how a lot of times, Chris, people become full-time investors, because they're looking for the next 20%, the next 20%, the next, you just keep going because you're like, wait, hold on.
And then you look up and you say to yourself, well, wait a minute, I've accumulated 10 doors, 12 doors. Shoot, I might as well. Either you're going to say, this is my nest egg, or this is really getting good to me. I'm going to do this full time. And you might leave your job because you might see the potential. But guess what? On top of one thing you can't do with those other instruments, the CDs, Roth IRAs, you can't leverage those. As you mentioned earlier, Jewel, the bank looks at that. So if you have a portfolio, 8, 10, 12, 15 doors, and you want to go get some money to get something else, you might want to step off a commercial. Like, I'm ready for an apartment building. Yeah. Guess what? The banks are going to be more susceptible to open those purse strings because you have assets out there that's cash flowing. Bert, you can't do that with a CD. Can't do that with a Roth IRA. Not the way you can do it with real estate.
Yeah. Because you're right. That's one of the number one things. So when I talk to people like, hey, I want an apartment building, I'm like, okay, that's great. But let's get you a couple single families or duplexes first, because the lender is not going to want to just take you straight to an apartment building. That's not how that works. You got to start here. But these are still great to have in your portfolio, even though I'm at a place where I just want multifamilies, right? But I still not going to sleep on a single family. If I got a great, deal, I still kept a couple single families in my portfolio, just if nothing else for the access to the equity all by itself. Okay. All right, let's look at another one.
Okay. So I have another one right down the street, but guess what? It's going to be the same numbers, same situation. We don't even have to go through it. The only difference in the taxes is like $30. It's still collecting $850. So everything's the same. So that's another, but that address, just so everybody knows, is 20227 Pelkey.